On today's menu, we're serving up a delectable lemon honey salmon paired with cheese and broccoli cellentani. Now, let's take a moment to tantalize your taste buds. Look at it, guys. Isn't it looking scrumptious? So mouth-watering. All right. Now let's jump into our ingredients. Now we're using the cellentani pasta. We're also gonna use broccoli, 4 types of cheese, starting with our Parmesan cheese, mild cheddar cheese because it melts so well, and a combination of mozzarella and pepper jack, and definitely flour, milk, and butter for our roux. Now to our salmon pieces, we're going to use a combination of Old Bay, all-purpose seasoning, and black pepper. We're keeping it light and simple because we want that lemon honey sauce to come right through and give our salmon that ideal flavor profile that we're looking for. All right, now we're going to thaw our salmon pieces. It is nice to get them down to room temperature a bit, but definitely not in the TDZ for too long because we don't want any foodborne illnesses, right? Now, when we get these down to room temperature, it takes the season better, right? Now we're going to move on to cutting the florets from the stem to get our broccoli ready for our cellentani pasta. Good. All right, and there we ensuring that all these are of similar sizes so that we can ensure even cooking. Good. All right, and there we go, nice and ready, and in the bowl they go to prepare them for washing. Now we're rinsing to remove any foreign matter or impurities, and there we go, giving it a good rinse. All right, and there we go, rinsing away. All right, guys, we're definitely going to drain these, and we're jumping in to prepare our diced onions. So remember, to get them nice and effective, you go vertical, horizontal, and then vertical again. Good. All right, and there we go with our nice onion medium dices that we'll use for our sauce. Set that aside, and then we're going to move on to zesting our lemon with the microplane. Now the zest will give an extra boost to our lemon honey sauce, and try not to get the pith, the white part of the lemon, inside the zest that you've created, because it will allow your sauce to be too bitter, right? And we're just using the reamer here to remove the juice effectively from the lemon to get all that juice out. Okay. All right, there we go. Strain this to remove the pulp and also the seeds, so we get our pure lemon juice. Now to this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, depending on the lemon, you may need to add another tablespoon depending on your tasting. When I did taste the sauce, I added 1 tablespoon more of honey so that we could balance that tartness of the lemon. Of course, you saw there where we add some pepper flakes just for a little spice. Now, let us get our salmon pieces ready. They're fully thawed, and what we're doing here is just to remove the package so that we can remove the scale from these salmon pieces. Good. Now when you're removing the scales, ensure that you scrape against the grain of the scale to remove them effectively. And there we go with our first piece. All right, and then we're continuing to get those scale off, because who want to taste scale in their mouth when you're having all this nice scrumptious juiciness? And nobody, right? All right, so it's important for us to scale them properly, right? So we won't have any physical contaminants in our meal. All right, and there we go. We have about 3 more pieces to complete this process, and we're just scraping away from the grain of the scale. So you're going the opposite direction, right? To get them off effectively and very quickly. All right, scaling away. All right, and there we are, continuing to move our scales off these salmon pieces. By the way, these are Atlantic salmon. They're rich in omega-3 and essential fatty acids, so they are really good fats and they are good for our bodies. Good. All right, and there we go with our last piece. And after that, we'll put these in the bowl to give them a good rinse. Wash our board. We rinse these about 3 times. The first time really is just to remove any loose scales that may be on the fish pieces. Give them a good rinse, and then we'll go in, of course, with our lemon. Now our lemon helps to cut away the rawness and also to improve the flavor of our salmon, right? And of course, we're going to drain these because it's very important for you to drain so your seasoning can stick. All right, and then we're pat drying and we're allowing these just to rest for a bit before we start applying the seasonings. All right, there we go. All right, and then it's showtime. Time to season our salmon. Good. And as I said before, we're using black pepper. I always like to go in with the black pepper first. The black pepper contributes to flavor and also that nice, attractive, beautiful presentation when it's done, right? So we're adding the black pepper, the Old Bay, and also the Maggi all-purpose seasoning, right? That Maggi all-purpose seasoning got to be my favorite seasoning, guys. It is so delicious and complex, and all-purpose can use on anything. Good. All right, there we go. Applying to the seasonings to the other side, and what you do is to pat the season in, right? So you see how my thumb and the pinky there is pointing off? That's how you got to do it to get it in, guys. Just kidding, right? And those leftover seasonings on the board, we're going to just use the side of the fish to get the seasoning on. All right, now here we go. We're adding some salted water to boil to get our Cellentani pasta going. Good. All right, and to the pot we're going to add 4 tablespoons of butter to sear our salmon. Now it is very important for you to maintain a low flame when you're using butter to cook, all right? And that is because we don't want the butter to brown. So nice and foamy, we'll go in with our salmon pieces. All right, ensure that you're monitoring the flame, and we'll sear on each side for about 5 minutes thereabout because the flame is low and nice. Now depending on the thickness of your salmon, you may need to go a little longer, so you have to use your discretion where this is concerned, right? All right, and there we go, skin side down first, checking on our pot of salted water. All right, and it is boiling, so we're going to go ahead and add some spices. So we're going in with a little garlic powder. We're also going to add some onion powder as well, because we have to ensure that the water that we're boiling our pasta in is nice and flavorful. Definitely cannot do without the freshly grind Italian seasoning. Get you a bottle of Italian seasoning when you're cooking pasta. I promise you, you'll thank me later. All right, and that is it. We're giving this a good stir. We added a little bit more salt because we have to ensure that this liquid is flavorful. Now it is very important that when you're cooking, all the elements of your dish have come in with their own flavor. So it's like teamwork, guys. So each person, when you're on a team, each person has to come with their little effort of doing the activity, right? It's the same thing when we're cooking. Each separate element has to have that flavor so that at the end of the day, your dish can be the bomb, right? Now it's about that time when we need to flip our salmon, and there we go, some nice round pieces, very attractive. All right, and there we are. Look at that, guys. Oh my goodness, look at that. All right, so we're going to put in our remaining pieces, and remember, depending on the size of your salmon, it takes anywhere about 3 to 5 minutes on each side for it to cook. We are going to simmer in the sauce for a little bit, so we do not want to overcook our salmon, so you have to ensure that you monitor the cooking time and the temperature. Good. We have added the broccoli to our pasta. They're boiled and ready, and we're just going to let the broccoli sit in there for 30 seconds to a minute thereabout, right? All right, time to strain these off. All right, and then we're allowing it to cool while we go ahead to prepare our sauce. Now it is very important for you to strain these off because you want to stop the cooking process, because if you leave them remaining in the hot water, they will continue to cook. Now our second set of salmon, they are nice and ready. All right, so we remove them from the flame, and to this flame we're going to add that lemon honey mixture that we made earlier on. I removed about half of the butter, so about 2 tablespoons of butter remaining in the pan. You don't need to wash the pan because all that flavor from the searing is there, trust me, right? So you just need to add that lemon honey mixture to the saucepan and allow it to come to a boil, and let it boil for about 2 to 3 minutes until it thickens a bit. Right, and there we're coating the salmon pieces, and we're going to allow them to simmer for about 1 to 2 minutes thereabout. Don't need to simmer for any much longer because they were almost cooked all the way through, and we need them to be nice and juicy. Now on that plate was all flavor, so don't throw that away. Make sure that you add that to your sauce as well. All right, now it's time to make our roux. Now what's a roux? A roux is a thickening agent that is used to thicken soups or maybe sauces, and in this case we want it to thicken our sauce. So there we are with 2 tablespoons of butter. We add our diced onions. We're gonna saute that for a bit, and of course we're adding 2 tablespoons of flour as well. Now when you're making roux, it is very important for you to monitor the flame as well, because you don't want your sauce to be lumpy. Now what we're adding there is some whole milk to create our white sauce, which later will be added turn into rather cheese sauce. Good. And you add your milk and you mix as you add, just as how when you're making porridge you have to stir so that the starch grains don't bind together. It's the same thing when we're making this type of sauce. Of course we're going to season with garlic powder, onion powder, some black pepper, parsley flakes, all right, and also some all-purpose seasoning. We're ensuring that this sauce is flavorful. Now ensure that you turn your flames on the low, because we don't want to see any bubbles in this pot, because milk don't like a high temperature. Good. Likewise cheese, so we have to ensure that this flame is very low, and we're going in with our Parmesan cheese first, because the Parmesan cheese is like a hard cheese which tends to take some time for it to be dissolved. So that is why we added it first. Then we're going in with some grated Parmesan, and after that we're going to add our remaining cheese. Good. Give that a good stir, followed by the pepper jack and the mozzarella. Good. Give that a good stir again, and of course we go in with the mild cheddar cheese last. We added these cheese last because they are easier to melt. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add the broccoli and the pasta. We're adding it at this time even though our cheese haven't fully melted as yet, and the reason for this, we're trying to prevent overcooking of the milk and the cheese, because if you do overcook, what you'll find is you have a grainy sauce, a sauce that has been coagulated, so it's the milk solids start separating from the whey, right? So as you can see, as we're stirring, it's getting thicker and thicker. Also, this will allow the pasta to develop that nice cheesy flavor more effectively while the cheese is melting. Now look at that, guys. So nice and juicy. All right, we're giving that a good stir and ensuring that each pieces of the Cellentani will get that nice cheesy sauce on. Good. And here now we're topping with some parsley flakes, followed by some mild cheddar cheese, just to add additional cheesiness to this dish. All right, now after that mix, guess what time it is? It is time to serve. Look at that moistness, guys. Look at that cheesiness. Oh my goodness. Are you ready? Oh, there we go. We're topping with that awesome and attractive lemon honey salmon. Good. We're garnishing with some additional parsley, some lemon slices, and voila, our meal is ready. Good. All right, and there we go. That ends the preparation of our meal. And of course, we have to end by tantalizing your taste buds with the view. All right, and there we go. That nice, juicy lemon honey salmon on that cheesy broccoli Cellentani pasta. All right, enjoy.